Let's have a discussion about Adobe Illustrator's layer palette. All Adobe products have multiple layers. Every application has the ability to generate documents using multiple layers: Photoshop, Illustrator, InDesign. But there's a big difference between an object-oriented program like Adobe Illustrator and the use of the layers palette, and a program like Photoshop that's raster-oriented, which means you got paint, and if you want to think of it this way, things stick to each other. If Adobe made a decree tomorrow that they were dropping the layers palette from 2 of those 3 programs, I would say, I'm going to miss you, Illustrator, but bye-bye layers. InDesign, oh, I hate this, but bye-bye, don't take them out of Photoshop. We have to have layers in Photoshop. So why are we here? Layers fundamentally, although there are some tricks here I hope I can show you in this lesson, layers are fundamentally an organizational tool. I've got the painting workspace open right now. If I come over here, layers is right down here. Let me move it up so you can see this. I have 4 layers in this particular document. I've got hundreds of items if you count up everything that's in this image. Each one of these layers controls a portion of what we see visibly. We've got flowers, leaves, pretties, and a backdrop. Each one of the layers holds a piece of that, so obviously I can toggle these on and off. If for whatever reason I just need to work on the flowers, maybe I don't want the distraction of everything else, so I can turn it all off. I turn them back on again because I want to see the relationship of how everything works. Of course, I can always come up here and click, select that flower, do something to it, drag it, delete it, whatever I want. But because this document has become so complex, I'm constantly selecting the wrong thing, and it's starting to get me mad. What do? Lock it. This button right here allows you to lock a layer, and all that does is prevent you from moving anything within that layer. Nice feature. Now, these are just the basics. We'll get into more detail as the lesson progresses. The flowers are on the top, and you can see that flower is over this leaf. Well, leaves are here. If I move the flowers layer by dragging it and waiting for a dark line to appear, the leaves are now on top of the flowers, so there is a stacking order here. In layers, you have 2 stacking orders. The stacking order of the images within the layer, the objects within the layer, and the stacking order of the layers themselves. This is control. In Photoshop, you gotta have them. In Illustrator, I want them. I don't necessarily need them, but it makes life a whole lot easier, I want to tell you. I know a lot of people that don't use layers in Illustrator, either A, because they don't do things that complex, or they just don't see the need since they're objects. Get into using the layers palette because there's a lot of features in here that are really going to help you out.